All right, so go ahead and throw those headphones on. We're going to jump right in. Everyone, thanks for listening to another episode of Garage Night. Garage Night brought to you by Cole Street Brewery. Head out there. We'll be out there at some point in our lives again on a Friday after maybe even after this. Message us if you listen, and we might be out there. We got Craig Bentley, Corey Bentley, and myself after just a rough, I think, spring break when this is going to get released. What a rough spring break. Kids just run around the house. Have a beer with us, guys. Sit down, have a beer, listen to this, and just get away from your children for a while. And we're going to talk this week, and you probably had to break up a few of them, wrestling matches, but mostly wrestlers. We're going to have our own draft of the best top-tier WWF, WWE in the history of the wrestling federation, Worldwide Wrestling Federation, McMahon, and WCW.
I'm just waiting for you to get all that out.
Anything. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. We got Craig Bentley on the mic.
How you doing?
That was weird. Did you run out of languages?
He's already
mixing it up.
He's a little twerked up. He's all ready for this wrestling. He's already thinking about these nice oiled up bodies.
It's like a Friends reference. How you doing?
How you doing? And Corey Bentley, his brother.
Oh, hey there.
Oh, hey there. We got to get better at this.
I think that's perfect.
All right, Travis Kenny. So I want someone else to intro this. Take it away, Corey.
What are we introing?
This. I mean, we're going to still intro, but I want you to be the facilitator of this.
Of the wrestling?
Yes.
I'll wrestle you right now.
Okay, get that thing in front of your mic face just a little bit.
So we're going to do the top draft. Are we drafting top 5 or top 10?
Scoot back like a foot and then just aim it towards me. You can do what you're doing, but just...
I'm good.
Okay.
Are we drafting top 5 or top 10?
Let's go top 5 wrestlers of all time. Keep track of your own. Okay? Never mind. Actually, I'll keep track of ours. I'll write ours. You do that. All right.
All right, who gets first pick?
I think the oldest person here should get first pick.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's do should we do I got a draft randomizer
Do you?
on my phone. One of the best
Is it
app
just an arrow that
inventions.
points back at you?
All right, let me pull it up real quick. Fantasy draft, randomizer, create new draft, traditional or weighted lotto. We're going traditional. Amount of teams is Thrizzle. Whoops.
Probably should have did this before we started.
Well, we're doing it right now. Name your team. Name your team. I'm going to name mine.
Well, let's see here. I will be.
But you can't tip who you're going to
I know,
draft.
that's what
That's
why.
That's really hard.
I'll be
actually.
Bonesaw's ready.
Bonesaw's ready.
That's fine. I'll be cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop. Do you rise to the top?
Cream always rises to the top.
I never eat a pig because a pig is a cop. I better get a Terminator like Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to play me out like if my name was Sega. But I ain't going out like no punk bitch. You guys know what song? Hit up and down. Get up and down.
And thank you for listening to our new intro.
What song? Extra points. Jump around. Jump around. Jump up and get down. Jump.
I'm just wanted you to keep singing.
Okay, Corey, what was yours?
My team name?
Yeah.
Cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop. I just
Just
I just wrapped it.
This is good. This is already starting good.
This is great. All right, mine is top from the top rope. From the top rope. All right, we're gonna randomize.
Diving elbow.
We're gonna go. The results are in. Bonesaw's ready, cream of the crop, and from the top rope. It was actually the exact same way we did it. So, Craig, yes, go ahead. You're first.
With the number 1 overall pick, I am going Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Steve Austin, the most famous guy Sean's ever had a beer with. That is a great pick. I'm a little jealous. what are the parameters of this? I guess we should say the parameters. Are we looking for fan favorite? We're looking for if we're going to do a Royal Rumble, that it's probably going to be the one that's going to be one of the last ones. What are we doing?
I'm just going my greatest people that I think are wrestling.
Yeah, that we were doing this almost like a fantasy draft where we just pick what we want.
Who we want. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The best team you can come up with.
Best team you come up with. Okay, you're up.
My number one pick is still available, and his name is HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, HBK, Shawn Michaels, off the board, second pick overall. That's craziness to me.
I think he's one of the greatest wrestlers ever.
Maybe. We're doing a snake draft, by the way. Right?
That's fine.
Okay. I'm going to go, obviously, with the Hulkster. Then I got to bring in his...
He's not going to be able to do anything for you for a while. He gets canceled.
Is he canceled?
After his sex tape and what he said?
What did he say?
He said some things in his sex tape.
I didn't hear any of that. I don't know.
He just got back in good graces, but you never know with him.
Well, either way, I'm okay with it. In fact, I'll probably watch it. I got to bring in his brother.
Going back to back?
Back to back, Hulkster and Macho Man. This is going to give me extra points for a good tag team. Good tag team partner.
Well, and what we talked about a couple episodes ago, you and your brother can get those matching tattoos.
Yes.
I think that's why you drafted
Yes,
him.
and we stole that. Or no, we didn't steal that. You didn't steal that from
It was Brandon.
Thorpe.
We talked about, yeah. He took his credit.
He took his credit. It was actually nice. And also nice to see old what's his name. We need to bring him back on.
Old what's his name?
Old what's his name?
You know who we're talking about.
I've had some beers. You
know who we're talking about.
Had some drinks. He said tremendous. It was Skelly. Jared Skelly.
Yeah.
Tremendous. So that's a great adjective to describe our podcast. All right, Corey.
I am going the dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair.
So you're not choosing height. You don't like the height.
I'm not Vince McMahon that only wants 6'6" wrestlers.
All right, who we got for the follow up?
So I'm with my first one. I'm going with 2024 presidential candidate, The Rock.
The Rock. Good call on The Rock. That's a great pick. And then to follow it up with?
And then to follow up him, I am going to go with Triple H.
Triple H. Wow. All right. Well, it looks like that you're really covering the late 90s.
Oh, it's the Attitude Era.
Pretty well. Go ahead.
Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant. A little more of a classical touch over here for Corey. Andre the Giant. Well, I got to somehow zoom ahead. So I'm going to go with John Cena. Da-da-da-da. And I got to go with The Undertaker as well. I could have flip-flopped those, but those are my top so far 4. Let's do 8. Let's do 8.
We're doing 8?
Let's do 8. We could probably do 8. Because that means that
it'll give me some of my sleeper picks later then.
Right.
All right. I am going Mankind or Mick Foley. Mick Foley. Good call on that. With the puppet or without the puppet? He can play any character
What
he wants.
What
Dude
outfit?
Love if he wants to be.
All right, so 2 for me. I'm going to go Chris Jericho.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go a little bit newer. I'm going to do Roman Reigns.
Wow. Roman Reigns. Oh.
That's pretty good. All right.
Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero. That is interesting. All right, I'm going to go, for me, it's going to be the Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. And then, because I need to have somebody else who's got a huge ego, I'm going to go with also Mr. Perfect.
Sting.
Ooh. That's a good one. I'm kind of mad about mine. Sting. Craig, back to back.
So I'm going Ultimate Warrior.
That's decent, which I thought was Sting.
And then we're doing 8, right?
Yeah.
I got to get Sheamus in there. Got to get Sheamus in.
Ooh, you got to get that redhead. You got to get that redhead in there.
Where do I want to go? You know what? I'm going Edge.
Edge. Like the Sting? You get the Sting, get the Edge.
From you too, not the wrestler.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. At this point, Hulkster, Macho Man, John Cena, Undertaker, Ted DiBiase, Mr. Perfect. I might as well just keep it at the old school, and I'm gonna go Reza Ramon, and I'm gonna go Bam Bam Bigelow.
I only got one more pick. This is tough now. All right, I'm going one that I don't think anybody would pick, but he was the 3rd longest reigning champion of all time at one point. His name was Bob Backlund, and he was the master of the chicken wing.
All right, so this is it, huh?
This is it.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna be politically correct, and I'm gonna go with number 8. I'm gonna go Becky Lynch, the first female on the list.
Wow, you want your team to lose. Excellent. Okay, so let's do this real quick. Since you've probably written down your own, right? Have you written down your own?
Yeah, I got who I got.
You know who you got. Okay, so who's on there that you would that's still left on there?
So I got left is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Kane.
I was thinking Kane. Who's Andre the Giant's like son?
Big Show.
Big Show. That's what I was thinking of.
Kurt Angle. Bruno Sammartino. Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Jim Duggan. CM Punk.
Jake the Snake.
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. Oh, wow. I feel it. I picked some dumb ones. I should have picked up Bret Hart at some point. Gosh.
And then recent ones, the top 2 right now, I think, are AJ Styles and Kenny Omega.
Solid. Some of the ones that I still got left, nobody picked. Recent, Finn Balor.
Yep.
Went to Batista.
I never liked Batista for some reason. I just could never get into them.
You said baseball. You don't like Dave Batista?
No.
Vader.
Big Van Vader.
Oh.
Also a actor on Boy Meets World.
Also
Played
true.
himself.
Diesel. And the Boogeyman.
Ooh. I was surprised Doink the Clown never showed up on this one.
You didn't draft the Boogeyman?
I didn't. He would have been in top 10, though. Probably been real close.
You took Becky Lynch instead.
I did. I wanted to be politically correct.
It was down to Becky Lynch or the Boogeyman.
I almost picked up Tatanka because I feel like that would have been Lex Luthor left off that list. Who else was left off that list? Owen Hart.
You know who Lex Luger slammed?
Yokozuna.
Or Lex Luger was Yokozuna. That's what I was thinking of. Not Tatanka, Yokozuna.
The Lex Express.
Any trades? Trades are up at this moment. Would you trade anybody for somebody?
What are you offering?
Well, you know what?
You want Bob Backlund, don't you?
No, not really. I mean, I don't know if there's anyone that you're interested in grabbing, but anyone is on the trade block for me. Hulk, Macho Man, John Cena, Undertaker, Ted DiBiase, Mr. Perfect, Razor Ramon, and Bam Bam Bigelow. Nobody?
I'll trade you Sting for Undertaker.
Who's your lowest one?
Bob Backlund. He's the master of the chicken wing.
I feel like I could give you. I'll give up Undertaker and and Mr. Perfect. Who do you got over there?
No, they're listening, going, "Why? Why are they here?"
Hey, it's fun, guys. It's fun. All right, so we didn't really plan the rest of the episode.
Who is your favorite wrestler of all time, though? For real, like your top.
I mean, if we're gonna go nostalgia, so I grew up in a 50-foot trailer. Okay, mobile home, whatever you want to call it, 50-foot,
Double wide,
single wide,
okay,
single wide. I move out. My parents built a house, big house too. It was great. I moved out though, so we had 2 TVs for the longest time. We had a really small rink-a-dink TV that was in my parents' bedroom, and so I could not watch wrestling. My mom was not a wrestling fan at all. So I could say, hey, I'm going to go watch Saved by the Bell. And this is where watch Saturday morning cartoons or whatever. This is when wrestling was on like midday. It was 10 a.m., 11 a.m. It wasn't like a Raw is War Monday night. It was like
the Saturday morning thing they had for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'd with every remote, you got a remote, you're like, oh, sweet. This is the last channel. Flip back was just such a great invention. For many years, actually, I used that for other reasons as well.
For Skinamax.
Whoever invented the switchback button there, Nobel Peace Prize. He needs to win something.
But they didn't come in and hit that button again to see what you were really watching?
No, because then you always moved off of it.
Nah.
Before you turn off the TV, you got to move off it. It's like deleting your history.
Your what history?
You search browsing history.
Okay. I thought you deleted your history by throwing them out your car.
If I could, I would. But anyway, I would watch it. And I was really into just that, it'd have to be between 92 and 95. Maybe even before that. Wmaybe 91 to 94. But that era, so nostalgia, favorite wrestler. Me and my brother would get the trampoline and pretend who were we? I was always Mr. Perfect. And I know that's dumb. But I love Mr. Perfect. Of course, I like Macho Man and Hulk. Yeah, I loved all those guys. But if I was anybody, because I liked prancing around the trampoline, just chest puffed out, looking at myself in the mirror, taking my hair, and then Did
you put a singlet on too?
Yeah, I did.
Carrying a towel around.
Yes. And then my brother, as I'm looking in the mirror, he would be like Shawn Michaels and just come up and do the kick, whatever that is called.
Super kick.
The super kick. He'd super kick me in the back, and I'm like, oh, I dropped my mirror. And then I turn around and just fake it, So that was...
Is that what happens? You playing with your hair so much back then?
Yeah. What an omen. What a thing to really... I should have done that.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Probably what happened.
Yeah. My body was like, hey, we're going to get you back for all this WWF, WWE sneaking around.
Stop playing with your hair. We're out of here.
What's your favorite?
I've always been Shawn Michaels. That was always my favorite. I think he's the greatest in-ring performer ever. He's not the biggest draw. If you go biggest draw, it's The Rock and Stone Cold. Some of the other guys are bigger draws, but in the ring, it was Shawn Michaels. His matches with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Amazing.
Huge.
I'm all the way huge Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
That's I wish I was Shawn. I would love to sit down and have a beer with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Just you had so much jealousy. Just
there was a lot. There was a lot of that.
Yeah. So would you say that? I mean, that had to have been 98, 99?
Yeah, high school era.
Yeah.
I mean, I go back. I mean, I've watched it forever. I go back, same thing, like you said, a little nostalgia with Hulk and those guys. I mean, yeah, but I mean, overall, throughout all the years, that's the guy I would pick. Stone Cold.
Did you watch WCW at all? When the NWO came out, was that a big thing?
I never had cable.
Oh, really?
We never had cable. So I bought NWO. Did we talk about this? WCW versus NWO?
The video game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we talked about playing it.
Yeah, so I had that game, and I loved that game until my parents made me throw away the game.
I think NWO was one of the biggest impacts on the wrestling business too.
Yeah, New World Order.
Yeah,
and that was. Let me go off mine. You guys know, but I'm gonna go off my memory. Okay, it was Hulk Hogan. He had even dyed his Just for Men beard into where it's black, charcoal black.
You're gonna do original NWO before they added members?
I don't know.
Well, I'm just.
It was the original idea was that Razor Ramon and Diesel left WWF.
Well, I was going to say that.
And they went to WCW as themselves, like their names, and they were invading, and it wasn't known that Hulk was with them yet. And the big moment was because Hulk was always that good guy, take your vitamins type guy.
Yeah.
And at one of their pay-per-views, Hulk turned heel for the first time in his career and joined the NWO, and that's when it all started.
And then, so I remember, it was those three plus Randy Macho Man came over.
He joined at a certain point, almost everybody that was
Sting
there.
came over.
Sting was in and out of it.
Who was, I just remember them walking in, just playing the guitar, air guitar.
They got way too big. They split up. There was a wolf pack. There was a red and black and a white and black. But at the very beginning, it changed everything.
It drew people in.
Yeah.
Now, looking back, I didn't think WCW was ever was that owned by Vince McMahon?
No. Ted Turner. Ted Turner owned it.
And then did Vince buy him out?
Eventually, yeah.
Really?
It was a story. It was actually part of the storyline that WCW, when they got bought out, that Vince's son Shane bought it.
They were going to do a whole storyline, and then they just scrapped it all.
Really? So, I'm sure there's been documentaries on this. Are there any good ones for me to watch, or anyone out there to watch to kind of see the behind the scenes of what that was going on? Because I'm sure Vince was not happy, right? I mean, they were breaking contracts, weren't they? How did they go to another? I thought it would make sense if Vince was in on it, but if he wasn't in on it.
When they left?
Yeah.
I think they were just up for the contract and didn't resign.
I mean, just like any other sport, they're free agents after a certain length of time.
Right, but all of them just kind of came up and Vince just let them go, or Ted Turner was just paying them more money.
Ted Turner started paying people guaranteed money, so they got paid a lot more money to go to WCW at that time.
Oh.
And so all their contracts, Hulk and all those guys had guaranteed money. So even if they weren't on TV, they could sit at home and get paid.
Really?
So all those guys, that's why they all went there for that time, to get their money. They weren't even worried about it. They didn't have anything to do. They got paid.
See, so is there a documentary out there that you guys know of that's on a Netflix special or something that I could?
There's some Monday Nights Wars you could watch, and it'll tell you kind of how they played against each other when Vince McMahon would try to do stuff to. They tried getting WCW essentially canceled first of all, and then realized they couldn't, and then ended up buying them out.
With NWO and with Goldberg, WCW was actually beating them for a while.
I remember Goldberg. Have you guys watched the new Rock series?
Yes.
Is it good?
It's awesome. I think so.
I'm
telling you right now, I really think there's a potential he really runs for president.
He said it today or the other day too.
Yeah, I mean this show is in my head. This show is gearing towards it.
If he really wants to, this show is kind of like a free political advertisement. Well, not free, they obviously did, but it's a political advertisement set up kind of to run. Because that's the whole storyline of the show.
Would you vote for him?
I would have to listen. I mean, I'm one of those guys. I do research, right? I'm not just going to say I'm going to vote for him because I love rock, right? If he came out and had a platform and really had something to change the way that things are done compared to the way things are done right now, which everybody says they do and nobody does. If he could be different, I would vote for him 100%.
I think it'll be interesting if he runs. I would assume he runs as a Democrat, and it would be interesting who he chooses to run with him.
Kevin Hart.
That would be the best campaign trail.
They'd win by a landslide.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's maybe what some people were looking at with Trump when they first got in with Trump, and maybe even Ronald Reagan, was some people that weren't into politics, and it's maybe we just have people that it's it was Bush and then Clinton and then Bush and then Obama, and it was like, you know what? We've got all these like people that have kind of are all intertangled. Let's get someone new.
People always just want something else.
But I think that Rock would be so good. Like even if he ran as a on a party that I probably wouldn't typically like support. It's like, well, how bad could he be?
My whole worry would be because of The Rock, who he is. He's this big guy, weightlifter style. That we'd be going down the path of Idiocracy. If you remember that movie.
Terry Crews.
We just start ending up never using water again.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Just straight up tequila.
What do you
Rock once?
What do you use? Why don't you use water? You mean like the toilets? But it'd be fun, I guess.
So in the backyard, when you guys would get the trampoline or go to a friend's house, who were you guys being? I mean, you probably weren't stone cold when you were like 10.
I was like Macho Man doing flying out elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think back then it was the main Hulk and Macho.
The leg drop.
What was the most intimidating move ever?
Yeah. That was like the easiest thing to do as a kid when you wouldn't get in trouble because you could just like drop and bend your leg just a little bit and just like totally not hurt the person.
And then you could Hulk up. Start hulking up all the time for everything.
Hulking up was...
I think you should do that down at Cole Street when you're drinking. And like halfway through, they're like, Travis, you all right? And then you just start hulking up, like getting ready to drink.
Hey, if you do that, you have to be prepared and have an extra shirt.
And
then just rip
my shirt off. Genius move.
And I'll play Real American on my phone in the background.
These are really good ideas that we should totally do.
That's gonna go up on the Real Genius.
Yeah,
right on the wall.
About.
Yeah,
it's already up there.
It's already up there. It's prioritized.
Yeah. That's like number 4 on the list.
It's in the to-do column. Well, what else we got? We gonna keep rolling with the wrestling questions and conversation, or do you want to switch it up? Because I got some questions that I asked Joey the other day that I kind of want to ask you guys.
Well, let's roll with that. I'm sure people that are listening would like to have something a little different than wrestling.
They're probably done with wrestling. There's a very small group of people that like talking about wrestling.
Jared's like, oh man, they're moving along.
Yeah,
but for those that would like to talk more about wrestling, send us some questions. We'll talk about
we're
it.
down. I'm down. Know nothing about it, but I'm in.
WrestleMania was amazing because it was like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
So we have question. I want to question for 1989 was a huge year in Seattle. You had the Kid, Ken Griffey Jr., and the Rain Man, Shawn Kemp, both came to Seattle the same year. At that time, who were you more like enthralled by for local sports?
Oh, I was Ken Griffey all the way. I wore my hat backwards. Wanted to be number
still
24. I still do. Yeah.
Still am, currently now.
In 1989, I was 4.
I don't care.
I don't really remember being that pumped up about Shawn Kemp.
But you do remember Griffey?
I remember Griffey, but it wasn't like I was a huge 4-year-old Griffey fan either.
Forgot how young you are. All right. Well,
I mean, Ken Griffey there.
Griffey. Yeah. All right. So next question is, at a wedding, would you much rather be known for as the best dancer or best speech?
I would like to be known to be the best dancer, but I'm not, and it'll never happen. So I can give a good speech.
You give a good speech.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be speech also.
I have to drink a few before, though.
I think I have to drink a few for either of those.
That's very true.
But
it doesn't matter how much I drink. I'm not going to get better at dancing.
If you combine the two and do some dance moves along in the middle of your speech, I think that'd be pretty solid.
Ooh, yeah. Just rip a moonwalk in between.
I'll even admit this. I gave a best man speech at my buddy Michael's wedding, and there was part of it where I didn't write anything down. I just went up there and said what I wanted to say. There's part of it where in my mind kind of glitched, and I was thinking of what to say, but it glitched at the perfect time that people thought I was doing a dramatic pause.
Oh, wow.
And so it just like worked into the speech.
That's half of my jokes, man. Seriously, I say things that I honestly mean, and people laugh, and they're like, that's hilarious. I'm like, yeah, that was totally a joke. Golf. You're golfing. Would you much rather start the hole with a monster drive or end the hole with a monster putt?
That's actually tough. I'd rather end with a putt because that's like closure. I want to hit like a 60-foot putt that nobody thinks you can make.
Okay.
I think either way, I'm like double par, so it doesn't matter how I get there. It doesn't matter how I start or close it. It's going to take me a while to get there.
When it comes to driving, let's say you have to do a road trip. Are you the speed racer or are you the scenic enjoyer?
I would go scenic.
Depends on where I'm going. Because if I'm going somewhere that I know on the way, there's not a lot to stop or look at. If it tells me it's going to take me an hour and a half to get there, I'm trying to get there in an hour. I'm trying to cut off time anywhere I can.
I just don't like feeling rushed. I like to take
your time.
Take the time, get there, and do what I want to do.
I'm always move on to the next thing guy, which sucks because I never enjoy anything.
Yeah, you're not in the moment at all.
I'm never in the moment.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to focus on that. Like I think I like smoking cigars only because it regulates my breathing and it like chills me out. So I've been trying to do that more often. Just kind of chill myself out and just enjoy where I'm at. It may not be the actual cigar, it could be, but it could be just that I'm just sitting there breathing differently than I normally do with longer inhales and exhales.
Yeah, just practice some deep breathing.
So we're kind of like your cigar.
Yeah.
You guys are definitely my cigar. You guys, Craig, you're a huge cigar. Or Corey, you're a huge cigar. Craig, you're a tiny cigar.
You blow a lot of smoke.
Tons of smoke.
Plastic Swisher sweets.
Probably grape flavor. Yeah. Probably.
Hey, question that goes along with the road trip. Heading over to Eastern Washington. Let's just say it's like April, May, June. You know, sun's now starting to hit a little bit more. You come out of the pass. You hit a little snow, but now you're coming down, and now you've hit that like moment where you hit Eastern Washington and you see a little more like wheat-looking fields and sun's out, blue skies, open spaces. Does your music change at that point? Are you listening to something different? Rolling the windows down and just blaring some different music.
Are you saying you automatically change to like country music?
For me, I do.
Yeah.
For me, I do. Dwight Yoakam. I'm just whatever.
That depends on what Craig's driving. I remember his little truck that could barely get over the pass, and that the radio would go out half the time.
If I'm heading over east like now, it's usually I'm not in control of the radio, so it's whatever carrier the kids want.
Really? So what we do for ours is we'll do a Pandora. If we have like, because we have 4 kids and me and my wife, well, kick Jacqueline out. She's in the car, but she's not a part of this. Everyone gets 1 keep and 1 skip. You can only use it once. And so as we're listening to music, I'm on random shuffle on Pandora. And so if something comes on and someone's like, dude, I do not want this. They can either think, A, I can suffer through this for 3.5 minutes, or I can use my skip. And if someone uses their skip, then someone has the option to have their
to counter it with a keep.
Yeah, and so that person doesn't lose their skip, but that person does lose their keep. And so that is so much fun.
Yeah.
That is a blast because sometimes
much better than I Spy.
Is there a limit to like a half-hour drive? You guys do that too?
No, well. Yeah, I mean,
we're going down to the bank, playing the game.
But we do have no. There's no limit. We do it anytime. I mean, we'll do it actually if we have a rest stop and we eat somewhere. Like, let's say we're going to like Richland or Tri-Cities, and we know it's going to be like a 4-hour drive, and so we'll stop halfway through. Then that's if we stop longer than getting gas, like we actually go eat or hang out. Then it resets. So that's the other thing. For me, I just love it because it's like sometimes you could be on a heater of like 3 or 4 songs that you love, and you know that like 2 people want to skip them, but they're like hanging on just because they're like, well, I don't know if I want to burn them yet. So good.
Is there one song that always gets skipped or something like every time?
It just depends on how many. For me, what I've noticed it's like, if that's like the fourth type of song, like the kids don't like country. So if it's like the fourth country song in a row, someone's like, all right, listen, I'm going to use my skip, but don't skip mine. Okay. So you two can't skip mine. If mine comes on, but I'm skipping out of this. So they'll do that. And then eventually, usually Jamie, she'll use it up fast. So the keeps. So if someone goes for that skip on the fourth country song that Jamie really likes, Jamie's like, keep. So he kept it. Just make him, torture him.
I would skip country songs too. Unless it was 80s country.
Yeah, that's what it is. Or 90s. 90s. Because you don't remember 80s.
Well,
I was 4 when King of Cheese showed up.
I remember Dan Seals.
What song is this? What does he sing?
He sings Bop.
Bebop.
And he sings Meet Me in Montana.
I've never heard this.
You need to listen to Pop. I had to karaoke it one time.
Maybe I will.
Yeah. You can probably play it here. It's probably free music by this point.
So you don't like music comes on. It's usually Carrie or the kids are controlling the dial
Most of the time, because they all have Apple phones.
Yeah.
And we listen to, or they the Bluetooth with the car. And I don't have music on my phone, except if I was to do like a Pandora or something, Spotify or something. So they control, even if I'm just with one of the kids, most of the time they're controlling it. Even if Carrie's not there, I let them control it.
I just picture you being like, hey, our podcast's a part of this? 45 minutes later of a garage night, and the kids are like,
they would definitely use a skip.
Yeah. It'd be like, your intro would start, they'd be like, skip.
So what would happen if one kid skipped?
Yeah.
I used my save.
Yeah.
Another person skip?
No. Yeah.
They would probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a double skip. Takes care of that one keep, unless someone else wants to throw their keep out there. You said, what was your answer on that one? Like, you don't really... You're listening to the radio and you go over the pass and it turns into some Mexican.
I remember when I used to
station.
Yeah. Well, I don't go over east very often on my own anyway.
No, it's a dangerous place.
Horrible. But I remember going over there.
When do you leave Enumclaw?
Not very often, but I do when I have to.
That's fun.
But I remember with him, that was that truck that he had going over there with him when he was in Ellensburg.
What truck? What is this famous truck?
I just had a small...
It was a converted automatic from a stick little Ranger.
Yeah. I totaled my car right before I went to college. And so I had to go get a cheap truck. And we got this Ranger. And it was an automatic, but you could tell it was a manual at one time. And somebody did a conversion to it.
Oh my gosh.
So in drive, you were lucky going up over Snoqualmie if you'd be like 45 as you're going. Like semi-truck. I had to get on the far end.
Just like minivans passing him.
I couldn't imagine that. I drive that little small Chevy Spark outside. And like for me, when I go over to Maple Valley to go check on baseball cards, shout out Brad Drummond. I'm like...
You guys should start like a trail together that you guys hit up.
Well... Why, does he have a small car too? What are you talking about?
No, you guys just go hit baseball cards up together.
No.
Start a thing. Where
no, because I'd be mad at him. I already am mad at him. And I like the guy. And I'm like, this guy's stealing all my cards. Everywhere I go, this guy's already been here. Swoop through.
He should start leaving notes then.
I'm ready to start collecting magic cards. That's like the only thing that no one's buying. Is like magic cards are still on the everywhere
if you
you
wait
go.
like 10 years, Magic will probably come back.
Dude, Magic card guys are probably like the owners are like, all right, sweet. So Pokemon kind of kicked in here. Pogs are coming back.
Are Pogs coming back? Because I'm in
a little bit. Yeah. In fact, I went to the there's a card shop out in Kent, and I asked the guy, I'm like, hey man, do you have any Pogs? He's like, I think I still got some, but people are kind of buying those up. I'm like, dude.
If somebody asked me that, I'd be like, I'm amazed somebody asked me for Pogs.
Bro, I'm like ready to trade in my baseball cards for Pogs. Pogs were great. They would have the coolest, dumbest, like little things. You win them from other people.
Pogs were only good if you had a good slammer.
I had a great like Magic 8 Ball, like everyone else in the world. Magic 8 Ball heavy slammer that was like, I don't know, like reflective. Dude, I wish I could find mine. Gosh, I wish I could find mine.
I think I threw my Pogs away.
I had like a tube. Did you have the tube?
Yeah. Well, then I had sleeves too, like in a binder. I eventually went to that.
Oh, you were super.
I had a ton of Pogs,
Wow.
and I had like 4 or 5 slammers. I had a gold Boeing slammer my dad got for me.
B-2 bomber.
It was a B-2 bomber.
Oh, Craig was jealous.
Man.
I didn't get into Pogs.
He wasn't really into
lot.
Pogs.
I was into like a little bit of it, but it kind of was beyond.
Because the
I was a little bit
actual
past that.
game of Pogs wasn't very cool. Like, you went to slam, and half the time it wouldn't hit.
It wouldn't hit.
Yeah,
And actually, they just do this.
it was like, yeah.
Depending where you're at, it was like you're at your like cousin's house for a carpet.
Yeah.
It was just like at your grandparents' house for Thanksgiving. Bring your Pogs, okay? And you'd slam it, and they'd all just go boom.
A lot of
like nothing would. Flip.
A lot of the time, what we ended up doing was betting Pogs on other stuff. So we'd be like, "Oh, we'll play a game of horse, and you bet 5 of your best Pogs for 5."
Oh,
that's
a
what we ended up
great
doing
idea.
a lot of times.
Dude, I'd probably do that whole. We should have a '90s night at Cole Street
And play Pogs.
where it's full buddy cast. We play Pogs. We get sketchboards out. We do the Stussy S. We what else would we do? Listen to Nirvana. Listen to like TLC. Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls on repeat. And slam. Da 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 da. We'd wear our Griffey jerseys, t-shirt jerseys, the ones that we'd get for free when you show up. What other 90s things could we do? Slap wristbands.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Trapper keepers.
You got those from that
folders.
Scholastic book.
Oh, dude, book fairs.
Yeah, we should just have a little corner.
Dude,
Craig
book
can-
fairs are like the greatest things
Craig
in
can
the
hold
world.
a book fair in the corner for
Oh,
everybody.
yeah. Oh, he wouldn't know.
Dude, I got a whole library of books.
He's like, do not drugs. Do not drugs. Mad. And it's just MAD.
Mad Libs. That's
Mothers Against Drugs.
do some Mad Libs.
Mad Libs are fun.
Yeah. You can create your own full buddy Mad Libs. And put it
Full
out.
buddy Mad Libs. That's actually a great idea to do for these lives coming up. Maybe I'll do that.
That'll go on the list right there.
Yep. Put it up there.
Great ideas that we'll never do. Number 75. All right. Well, everyone, thanks so much for listening. We're going to do some shout outs real quick, but because I got to get out of here. Craig, shout out.
Shout out to all listeners. We've been doing this for a little bit of time now, and
We're almost
getting
at
some
20 episodes.
Get some positive feedback,
Yeah.
and just keep it coming. I love listening to other listeners talk.
Yeah, me too.
I agree. Send us some questions, some feedback. I'll respond to anything. Send something on Facebook.
Unsolicited
and
dick
I will-
pics. I'm in.
Yeah. I will
He
actually.
just said yes.
I will post on Facebook. That's what I'm saying.
I'll tag you in it. That's good. That's awesome.
I mean, if you want to put unsolicited pics up on Facebook, that's on them, not me.
We've also increased. Facebook algorithm is going out of control because they're like, whoa, this Corey Bentley guy.
Why are you getting all these pictures?
He hasn't posted anything in like 2 years. In the past like 5 weeks, he's been posting links to this podcast. It's crazy.
That's like my whole page is just podcast link shares.
This show must be just on the rise.
Yeah.
My shout out is to all the Patreon subscribers. Please, guys, hit up Patreon. Hook us up with some money. This goes to the podcast. This goes for fun. These guys don't see it, but I do. But it also goes to like the monthly subscription that I have to pay when it comes to putting on a podcast. So I'm going to shout out the Patreon subscribers: Holly Graff, Desi B, Eric Madrid, Kellen Hall, Adam Kenny, Cassie Spencer, Casey Scott, Seth Loop, and I went too fast. There's one just floating out there.
I'm always impressed that you remember all
There's
this.
one more, and it's floating.
Brand new, right?
No. Oh yeah, Amanda Keating. Thank you. Hit me in the head with that one. Amanda Keating, thank you so much. Everyone, thanks for listening. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. And then tell us what you guys' favorite wrestlers are. We actually do care about what you guys have to say. So message us, comment, share. Jared, you're tremendous. And
Ask us questions. What do you want us to talk about?
and Brandon, ask us a question. Let's get deep.
Yeah.
Ask us something that you know is going to make like Corey like talk too long about, and it's going to be funny for you because you know Corey's going to ramble for 25 minutes, and then Craig and I are just going to sit here going,
He'll ask me about documentaries. That's what I do at work. I just ramble on about it. The last documentary I watched. Last one I watched was about QAnon.
okay, all right, everyone, thanks for listening. Have a great day.